Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing tonight? Let me know how the audio and the video are coming across. I'll catch up on the chat in the meantime and say hi to everyone. Hopefully we're going to have a good night tonight. Hopefully the YouTube servers comply. I see the first comment, Glitch, is talking about the IRC. Glitch, I'm not monitoring the IRC, so that is not the preferred method. We're going to stick with the YouTube chat until we can't do it anymore. Good stuff. Who we got? We've got Zach, we've got Glitch, we've got Leroy, we've got Steven, Brandon is here, Joe is here, Mr. Ziegerman is here, or Z German. I'm gonna just say Ziegerman because it's so much easier for me. What else? Who did I miss? Did I catch Brandon? I think I did. I think we're in good shape. And yeah, we got a good crowd here. I think we're good. Let's just see, make sure we've got everything all set. I think we're in good shape, guys. How's everyone's Monday going? Let me know in the chat. Hopefully everyone's having a good week or a good start to the week. It's always fun to start off with a Monday live show. I find that works good for me anyway. Looks like we're getting good audio, video, good stuff. Thank you guys, appreciate it. You never know, again, with the YouTube servers, I didn't see anything on my end for the stream, but what I did notice is YouTube has changed some of the G Plus notifications again. I don't know whether anyone else noticed, but the G Plus notifications is broken again in the last 24 hours. It'll once in a while pop up for a notif, but not for comments, not for shares, not for a lot of stuff is hit and miss. So they must be working on things. They love to do it on a Monday, I found, which is kind of a pain for the live cast, but yeah, it's not so bad. It is what it is. I think we'll be able to make it through the show and things will work out good. And lots of chat going on. Speaking of which, I think I can fire that up right now. Good stuff. Guys, there are some moderators in the chat. Hopefully the moderation is working. I did hear back from some sources indicating the moderation will work now. So yeah, we'll see how things go. And Scott's got his video feed all sorted out. Good stuff, Scott. Shouldn't have too much problems, actually. I've been really lucky with this feed, guys. Zero dropped frames most of the time. Very, very seldom do I get dropped frames other than the little hiccups from my encoding on my end, which is, I know, is my PC. But the servers work really well, and the chat's working really good. Lets everyone get in contact with each other. And Glitch did mention we do have an IRC, but we won't be using that for the live broadcast yet. But we will touch on it in a little bit. Guys, let's see if we can get started. We got Jordan is here, Eric Kaufman is here, Mike is here. Mike says extra credit to Eric if he can pronounce my last name correctly. I'll just bow out on that one because I'll just epic fail. I know I will. Yeah, good stuff. I think we're in good shape, guys. Good stuff. Let's get our Monday live cast underway. Well, for that, I'd have to actually set things up, and I failed at that already. Let's see if we can get it going here, guys. May the 4th, guys. Happy Star Wars Day. For those of you who like that sort of thing, I didn't even clue in till a short time ago. It is, in fact, May the 4th. Good stuff, guys. Kind of an interesting little coincidence. So, tonight we'll cover viewer questions throughout. Guys, just throw them in the chat. Tons of knowledgeable people here. If I don't catch it, someone will. And if I really fail to catch it, you can hit me on the imprinter, or we'll figure out a way. One way or another, we'll get your questions answered. We'll cover some tech news tonight, guys. Viewer challenge tonight. Some stuff on 3D printing. A bunch of stuff from the community of hackers, makers, amateur radio, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, you name it, it all goes here, guys. Some stuff from the shop. An upcoming sneak peek. Actually, I don't have the tech tip of the week queued up, guys, so we're not going to have that. I should have taken that out. And at the end, time permitting, we'll do some live Skype calls with you guys. The Skype username is scrolling across right above my head. You can go ahead and add me on there, and you can call in live. As always, guys, the electric imp printer, it's a thermal printer sitting right in front of my face on the desk. You can find the link below in the description to send me messages directly to that if it's an important question or something you need me to see. Please don't spam it, but yeah, you can use that as well as the chat. Chat goes by pretty fast nowadays, guys. Good stuff. Speaking of the chat, I'm gonna try and catch up on it. I make every effort to try and keep up on the chat as best I can, but yeah, it's gonna be tough. But yeah, whenever there's something in there that I can call out live, I like to do so. The interaction is kind of the point of this live broadcast, but as more and more come, it's gonna get trickier. Jordan called me out on the no tech tip. Yeah, I had a tech tip, but I failed on getting the prop ready, so I figured I'd skip it, and the content should cover enough tech tips, hopefully. If it doesn't, well, epic fail. What are you going to do? All right, guys, let's go. Tech news this week, guys. More tech news than I could begin to cover this week. So much of it. I had a really hard time with this live broadcast picking out what to show here and what to share. Just so much going on, so I have to trim it down extensively. This one I thought worth calling out. CNET covered the HoloLens again. This is gonna be big, no matter whether it's a commercial fail or a win, I don't know, but the HoloLens, the virtual reality headset, is gaining some traction. There's some beta tests going on. Some people have had their hands on it and used it, and the results have nothing but positive things to say, pretty much. So be interesting to see how this pans out in the future with the Microsoft HoloLens. Something to keep your eye on. This one I thought worth sharing. This is part of one of my favorite companies out there, the Adafruit. Lemore and Phil covered the Arduino compatible Metro from Adafruit this last week on the live show on the new products. Guys, this thing is basically an Arduino Uno form factor, which, as most here know, I don't overly favor. But the Metro is basically a Lady Ada original. This is what she uses, what she designed to make her happy in her prototyping. That alone should give you a hint at the functionality of it. I won't go over all the specifics here. You can just watch the video. All these are linked below on my website, guys. You can catch up with them. This one is linked to the exact minute where they start the coverage. Really, really cool board. Significantly more functionality than your standard Uno by far. Pretty handy for protos, I think. I would like to have one and give it a go, even though I'm not a huge fan of the form factor. It just drives me nuts having so much wasted space on a board. I don't know why. It bugs me. But if it's good enough for her, I gotta give it a try. This one was huge, guys. Elon Musk debuted the Tesla Powerwall. As many people here know, my daytime career is alternative energy. So by nature, those of us who have entered that career path generally support things like this. This one, huge publicity really fast because, well, it's Elon Musk. The guy, he does get exposure no matter what, and has spent mega bucks on this with his gigafactory. Basically, long and the short, guys, if you didn't already see it, which most of you did, is a battery bank for houses. But a battery bank that anyone could purchase, basically a turnkey solution. Doesn't have inverters and stuff like that. It is only, I think it's lithium-ion cells. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Pretty sure that's what it was. But as an all-in consumer solution, I won't even go into the tech specifics of it. I can find some flaws with it pretty quickly, but the fact that this opens it up to the mass market and gives people the option, even if it may not be the best, is huge, and opens up a competition to a market to expose people to be able to purchase such things. takes a company to lead the way, and then there will be others. There will be competition, which in my opinion is a darn good thing. I'm really excited about this, guys, as most of you probably knew I would be. Will I buy one? Probably not. The makers and hackers here, we could easily fabricate our own battery banks and don't necessarily need a turnkey solution, but the general public can't do that. They need this. So pretty cool stuff. We'll see where it ends up, guys. I have no idea where it'll end up. Something to keep an eye on. Good stuff, guys. Let's see. Catch up on the chat real quick. Mike said, hence the windmills in the background. Yep. Yeah, you got it. That's one of the things I do. And Glitch said all the 18650s. And Steven said 7 watts or 12 watts are not bad. Oh yeah, kilowatts. Yeah, 7 kilowatt or 12 kilowatt units. Or I thought it was 7 and 10. Anyway, we'll see. I got confused. I didn't follow the chat. And lots of chat going on. Not necessarily directed at me, so we will continue. Good stuff, guys. Let's go. 3D printing, guys. This is not a new video, but it got a lot of publicity this week. This particular one was MKme robot friction weld repair. Long and the short of this, guys, it just blew me away. I never even considered it. Stick some of your 3D printer filament in the end of your Dremel tool and use it as a plastic welder or whatever media it is, whether it be PLA, ABS, or any of the other bazillions now. It allows you to bond your 3D prints, basically plastic weld them with a pre-existing tool. Really, really cool idea, and I'm going to give this a try. For some things like rebuilding an area that didn't print, basically you could form the plastic and then shape it with sanding, grinding, whatever afterwards. Really, really cool idea. I was blown away by it. So pretty handy for those of you with 3D printers out there. Maybe you've already done this. Bob Houston, a channel I subscribe to. This is the InMove 3D printed humanoid robot. Many of you here have seen the arm that I built and some of the interfacing I did with it. Well, there's plenty of guys out there like Bob that have done the full-size humanoid robot. Bob added on some more axes to the head movement, and this video is really, really cool. Basically, InMove could never tilt the head before, and now it can with some addition of some basically threaded rods that drive. Usually it was just the neck tilt or the chin movement before. Pretty cool stuff. Love this channel. Love Bob's work. He's got a pretty involved robot. It's really cool. Check it out, guys. I think you'll like it. All right. Let's see. Glitch said on the Powerwall, 7 kilowatt hour for $3,000 US, 10 kilowatt hour for 3,500. Yep, that sounds right. Good stuff. Yeah, and the 7 kilowatt hour unit was designed for full deep discharge, full like beat the heck out of it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I imagine the batteries are probably the same in them, but we'll see. Pretty cool. Glitch said that's the same Dremel he has. Love that model. Actually, I have a similar one, but not quite the same as that. But cool idea, eh? And Jay has the cordless one. So do I. I have the rechargeable, and I love it. One of my favorite tools. And the battery in that thing has lasted forever. I can't kill it. Pretty impressed with it. And Glitch said he has tried many of the others, and he loves that model. Good stuff. And BMS Webb is here. Hey, how's it going, sir? Good to see you here. David Watts is here as well. Yeah, we've got all the gang here tonight. Guys, just a reminder, lots of people here with YouTube channels. Make sure if you're in the browser window, and you can do so, hover over their names. If you're not already subscribed, check them out. BMS Web, David, a bunch of others. I can't even list them all here. Awesome channels that I subscribe to, and I routinely the content here. And I'm pretty sure we probably have one of each tonight. So I'm not sure if we have a BMS Web video tonight. I guess we'll find out if we get moving. I'll go now. Let's see what else we got, guys. As usual, guys, just a reminder, best way you can support this channel, click that thumbs up button down below, share these videos out, let people know we're here. It really, really helps. And if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. If you feel so inclined, check out my Patreon campaign linked below where you can directly donate to support this channel and keep the lights on, keep this moving. Little bit of an announcement, actually several of them this week, guys. I'm a little excited about this. So the first one is a recap from last week. If you didn't already see this, we got an IRC channel set up thanks to Glitch and Steven in the chat there. Helped out. Glitch is actually hosting it. Thank you, Glitch. Where you can just go to the MKme.org website, top right, either place, you can click the link and you can get right into the IRC channel, either in a pop-out window or right embedded in the page. You can also, if you're familiar with IRC, you can go ahead and join that with your favorite IRC client. This is the first week we've had it out there that people knew about it, and it's been a lot of fun. Gives us a place to meet up live and chat, and it's been well used already. It's a lot of fun. Really, really happy to have this. Thanks, Glitch. One more, kind of a big one. So you guys are familiar with the gas sensor project that I did. This week I released the new video and the code, fully open source for this. It is hosted here on the Hackaday website. You can see that. Go ahead and you can link below to it. Give it a skull if you like that project. But as a result of hosting this and getting it out there, I actually won a prize. It's an early bird prize for the 2015 Hackaday prize. We actually, guys, we won $50 at Osh Park for custom-made PCBs. And I say we because the projects here, whenever possible, I like doing them as a community, and I like putting things back into the channel. So we won these $50 worth of custom PCBs. My challenge to you guys, what are we going to do with them? So this week's viewer challenge is to go ahead, post in the G+ community. You can do it in the forums too, but I think the G+ community is best for this. Post what you think we should make with these with Osh Park. I have no idea. I have no major projects in the queue where I need some custom PCBs for, but I'm open to ideas. If we have something that either I can whip together, or maybe even something even better, if it's a PCB that we could share that would be of value to people that we could do as a giveaway or whatever. I'm open to anything, guys. We've got this credit. Let's use it. Let's make something neat. Could definitely do a custom PCB for the gas sensor itself, but I don't think it's really mandatory. I'm open to ideas, guys. Let's use it for whatever you think. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, we won. It's just an early prize, so we're not removed from any of the later prizes. Maybe see where it goes. So yeah, let's see. Jay said, Eric got a question. If you don't know the answer, you're going to ask, what camera do you use for your live streams and which one do you use for your workbench when you do your video uploads? Yeah, that one's easy. The camera you're viewing me on right now is a Logitech C920. And for the live videos, believe it or not, it's a Samsung Galaxy. It's the S3 or S4. I can't even remember anymore. I've had it for a couple of years. That's what I use for the videos, guys. Bathe the workbench in extreme amounts of light, and I do a little bit of cleanup in post, but all those videos are just shot on a cell phone. So there you go, Jay. That's that. And Steven said we're only talking about Osh Park last week about 555 timer circuits. Absolutely we were. It was a very fortuitous coincidence that we won. Yeah, very cool. And Jordan said make the PCBs for the gas ball project. Yeah, definitely could slim it down and just do the Atmega, the Atmel chip, but I don't know. I'd like to do something as a community. Let's do a community project, but regardless, throw all your ideas in the G+ community. Let's get it out there. Whatever you think, I'm open to anything. Let's just go for it. And Glitch said the same, but you have it work with a 18650 cell. Very cool. Automate your house with switches we can turn on and off. Yeah, Mike, actually, early on when I started with the electric imp that's now running, if I can get it out without disconnecting it, this printer, I had it just as an LED that people could toggle on way back on the live shows, and we could just blink the LED back and forth. So we did actually something like that. Pretty cool. 7322 Matthew C is here. Good stuff. He says he normally listens while he's doing housework. Very cool. And Jay said I use my iPhone 6 Plus for mine. Was just wondering. Yeah, mine's nowhere near an iPhone 6 Plus. All right, guys, that is that. Let's go. So as I mentioned, the new viewer challenge for this week, guys, is to make sure you please post your ideas on what PCBs we can make. Post them in the G Plus community, or hit me up right on Twitter or Facebook or any of the other socials. Hit me up on any of them below, Instagram, you name it. As usual, G Plus, Facebook, Instagram, fine, blah, blah, blah. Last week's challenge was to show me your workspaces, and you guys delivered lots of cool stuff. Let's go to large view here. Leroy shared his little bit of a mess. He says he's embarrassed with it, but hey, this is hacker maker fun. This is nerd porn. Pile of stuff, guys. Leroy's workbench, bunch of pictures, really cool stuff. And Mike also shared his workspace, but he was actually working on a friend's laptop where the jack was broken. Laptop number 3 for the same friend. Very, very cool. Love seeing live repairs in process, guys. Simply love it. Really, really cool. Mr. Z German, challenge accepted. He shared his workspace. Note 2 3D printers on the go. One in construction by the look of it, and one fully operational on a nice small little surface. Nice PC in the background. He's got an Arduino in the breadboard. All set. That is maker heaven. He also shared with us his FT Versa wing, same as the Versa wing I shared here before, except his looks a lot nicer than mine. Pretty cool stuff. Can't wait to build more of those. Zach, who I think might be with us still, shared us his computer station. Check out the speakers and the workbench in the background, guys. Awesome. Love seeing this. Definitely nerd porn. Pretty cool. Thought that was neat, guys. Love seeing your workspaces. Love that you responded to the viewer challenge. It was awesome. Tom Medlin is here. Or Medlin, sorry, Tom. W5KUB.com is his website. Check it out, guys. And what else we got? Mike says he's still waiting for his RTL SDR to show up. And definitely some highs going on to Paul from BMS Web. Awesome stuff. And Glitch says, does mine get shown again? Glitch, no, you got shown last week. Come on now. Same pictures, you want them shown again? Just kidding. Awesome. Zach is here. Good stuff, guys. Let's carry on. What else we got? From the community, guys, this everything goes here. So from electronfun.com, a channel I follow, how to build an automatic fume extractor. It's a multi-part video series. I thought it was really well done. He took an MQ2 and hooked it up bare bones basic with an output driver transistor to drive some muffin fans from PCs as a fume extractor. Totally useful project. Something we all probably should have on our workbench, because breathing those solder fumes for the lifetime that we might be tinkering is not good for us. So totally cool project. Loved this build. Check it out, guys. Survival Tech Nord, I don't know whether he's with us tonight. Really cool video on amateur radio helping Nepal. Guys, this was a big deal last week. As everyone in the world knows now, the earthquake was just absolutely atrocious. The ham radio community always jumps into action whenever there is a disaster anywhere in the world to lend whatever help they can, and they're very organized, just relaying messages, doing whatever needs to be done. Really cool stuff. So check out Survival Tech Nord's video on that. Marco Arduino channel did a really cool video. This I don't see quite often enough, I don't think, because, well, personally, I don't get into projects where I need this, but he did a cool video on how to use an external chip. Talks via I2C data bus to expand the I/O on the Arduino. So basically, you can just add more inputs and outputs to any Arduino. Really, really, really useful. Basically, rather than daisy chaining an Arduino to another Arduino, you can vastly simplify it with one of many, many different chips that can do this. Pretty cool video. I enjoyed that. Really well done. Stephen Kiberton, who is here with us tonight, shared his home office / room tour of his setup, where he does his live broadcasts on Twitch and does YouTube videos and does a lot of his work. Really neat to see behind the scenes. I thought that was really good. Thanks, Stephen, for sharing that. It was along the lines of show me your workspace, but he did it in a full video format. Rotor DR1. So this is a channel I have never shared before here, guys. For those of you who are into RC and FPV, the flight test channel will be well known to you. The boys at Stonecat Productions that produce flight tests actually have an independent film, and you may recognize this guy on the screen as David Windestel. The Swede on the flight test videos. He is one of the main characters in this independent film. It's post-apocalyptic drones and all kinds of neat stuff. I'm pretty excited about this. I didn't even know about it until last week. I just stumbled on this and found the channel, and I thought it should be shared here, guys. If you're into quadcopters and that sort of thing, you might find this of interest. I'm just going to catch up on the chat real quick. Tom said we were having boots on the ground in Nepal tomorrow night on w5kub.com. Good stuff, Tom. Guys, you can check out that live broadcast if you're interested in that. And Mr. Zierman is still working on his printer. Good stuff. Glitch says he loves the Rotor DR1. Such a good series. Awesome. Yeah, David on the screen. Oh, the Swedish god. He is pretty epic, I have to say. For one of the characters on Flight Test, he just cracks me up. He just belongs on he belongs on just about any show. It's pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, check out Rotor DR1. All these are linked on the website. Computing Forever, another channel I follow. A really cool guy. I've talked to him via message several times. He's given me a shout out as well. He did a really cool video on the dangers of artificial general intelligence, AGI. Covered a lot of things that should be on people's minds, that already are on our minds, about where AI is headed. Everyone uses the comparison to Skynet, and we're not there yet, but these are things we need to think about as AI is developed and getting to the point where it's we already have self-learning algorithms. He covers a lot of really good info. I think you guys will like this video. It makes you think. So check out Computing Forever. Wired did a cool video on exoskeletons, another really hot topic lately. This one resonated with me because I've seen this company before. I've actually seen them in some DARPA featured documentary type stuff. But this one was just basically a mechanical exoskeleton, no electronics, no pneumatics, just counterweights and springs. In this case, I'll go full screen so you can see it, guys, if you didn't already. Guy's holding a big Milwaukee grinder. This thing, I don't know, 40-pound grinder. It's a big unit, and completely weightless and able to work with this thing. Guys, I think this is really something that will affect the future of job sites. Admittedly, this particular suit is big and bulky and only has one particular tool that it's counterbalanced for. But so what? If there was a person tasked with using that one tool all day long, why not give them equipment like this? And OSHA, eat your heart out, because we can take the risks of soft tissue injuries and long-term debilitation right gone. Let's use this technology and really advance the way we do work. Really exciting stuff. I thought it was great. I think you guys will enjoy it. Educates.com. I've shared this channel numerous times here. Just always good videos, multiple times a week. And he did 2,000 subs. So let's join me in congratulating him, guys. Really awesome maker channel. Always good Arduino stuff. And in the process of his 2,000 sub video, he did just a mailbag video. Really cool stuff. He got some neat toys, but he also did a shout out back to our little channel here, guys. It's kind of funny because I don't know that I've ever contacted him directly, so I quite often don't let people know that their videos are being served here. I'm sure they can probably see it in the analytics when I link back from my website, but he did a really nice shout out. It's appreciated. Not necessary though. I love featuring good content. I love featuring other makers out there. I really love featuring people from this community too, as you guys know. So I thought that was cool. Definitely worth sharing. As well, speaking of people that are probably still here, Tom, Hamrat88, did a video on his Tom's Radio Room show. Guys, you're probably familiar with his channel. A lot of good amateur radio content. He is venturing into the Arduino world now. He got started with a Raspberry Pi, and now he's starting to play with Arduino. Congrats, Tom. Welcome to the mayhem. Welcome to the world really opening up. There are no limits once you start playing around with the two. The amount of things you can make and things you can interface, that goes really well with amateur radio. It goes really well with almost any hobby. So welcome, Tom. Really cool video. Check it out, guys. I think you'll enjoy it. Whew. There. Let's see where we're at, guys. Let's catch up on the chat real quick. I'm just going to scroll up just a little bit here. David had to remove the Mega 328 from his Uno. He's ruined the last part of the memory. Oh! That sucks. Were you writing to EEPROM? I did that once, and I forgot. I was writing to EEPROM on every single loop cycle, and I just locked it up. Just killed it. And all electronics run on smoke, because if you let the smoke out, it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, good stuff. And we will fight AI with exoskeletons. And Leroy said it's hard to get the factory smoke back in. It is that. Joshua's here. Hey, Joshua. And David asked, anyone have any experience pushing dynamic memory usage up to 80-90%? Not me. Never even considered it. And good stuff. I think we are in good shape here, guys. We're going to be right on schedule tonight. All right. Let's go. From the shop this week, guys, I did get the DIY gas sensor video out. Guys, you can check it out at the link below to the Hackaday site. Please remember, if you like it, give it a skull or a follow. I'll post everything there as well. Linked from there, you can find the direct link. It just goes right back to the MKme.org forums where the code is posted. Take it. It's yours. Use it. It's out there for the world. Nothing to be hidden here. There's also a schematic drawing on the Hackaday site. It's really basic. I'm pretty sure anybody can figure it out from the code, but in case you need it, go ahead and use it. It's all there. Nothing proprietary here, guys. The whole project is out there for someone to make it better and enjoy it. Well, this week, I forgot to put a slide in here. I did do a blower repair. My fiance's high-velocity dryer kicked the bucket, and I did do a quick teardown repair video. It didn't end up being much, but it was a fun repair. At the end of the day, I couldn't believe the price she pays for these things. My God, they are expensive for a bloody motor. It's just because they're specialized for grooming usage. It got it back in business for the price of a Switch, which I don't remember what I would have paid for because it was in the drawer. So and a new cord, which I ended up finding I had anyway. So check it out, guys. If you like seeing live teardown and repair videos, it is there. Let's see. What else have we got? Zach says, we need to see how your flight sim is coming along. Zach, I will do another video on the flight sim, hopefully in the upcoming weeks. I planned it. I really wanted to do another one. I miss flying it. I haven't flown it since last time I did a video. It's really a crying shame that the thing is sitting there. But with that said, I haven't done any building on it either. I did do a couple of minor software mods to the flight and route planning. Fixed up my weather avoidance system and a few other minor things, but I haven't flown it since. So truthfully, I probably need to fly it once before I do a video and make sure the whole thing doesn't crash and burn. But yeah, I'd like to do another flight sim video soon. Joshua had to leave. Scott said, with the gas sensor project, I'm having problems displaying more lines on the 1602 display. Yep, sure there's probably people here that can help you with that if you're just having line display items. I'm not familiar with the 1602 display. I don't know what that is. And 7322 Matthew says he's got to go too. And Brandon's looking for the flight sim vids too. Very cool, guys. I'll see if I can deliver. I have a long list of videos to deliver, you guys. I actually keep it running just a notepad file. And I try and put them in order that I want to do them, but that priority does change. So I'll try and squeak it in. And Mike said, I wish they would get multiplayer working on FSX store version. Don't know. Is that a problem with the Steam version or something? The original ones work fine multiplayer. You just got to go to a dedicated server. I don't even remember what's that old server that it used to be. It was built into FSX. GameSpy, I think it was. It's been dead for years. But you can still join into tons of other servers out there, or you can go VATSIM and really play for real. And I think we're good. Let's go. Quick sneak peek, guys. Not much that's been taken. This is the only video that I have sitting in the queue for editing. I need to get taping some more. I do have a mailbag for you guys. This is a big mailbag though. Tons and tons of parts that I've had to share with you guys for going on a couple of months now. So there's a couple of those that I've been waiting to do the mailbag to do their own dedicated videos. There's at least one component that is going to work with many projects that I can't wait to do a dedicated video on all by itself. And I can let you in on a little sneak on that. It is an LED Pico projector that we can use with our Raspberry Pi projects or any other, you name it, tons of different things. Ever wanted to have a projector in your pocket? I've got one now and it works really, really good. So yeah, gonna be a video on that coming up, guys. Actually, I'll just catch up on the chat real quick. I can hear the imp. The imp printer did get a message, but it didn't print out worth beans for some reason. I'm not sure why. Never seen it do that before. Steven said GameSpy was closed ages ago. Yep, absolutely was. Mike said Steam version has multiplayer out of the box. Yeah, I covered this with, I think it was Joshua, quite a bit. I don't know, guys. I would say stay away from the Steam version. I can't vouch for using it myself, but I can vouch for how he got his working with Link2FS, but he did have to go to the Link2FS forums. But I think there's going to be problems if you're building a sim pit, like a proper flight sim, like a big monster silly thing like I've got, where when you need to do, like I had to use the FSX SDK that comes with the original FSX disc edition. It only came with the gold edition, and I've had to use it numerous times to do the mods I needed to make the sim work. I don't know whether these like the Steam edition is ever gonna have such a thing, because the support for the SDK died with Aces eons ago, many years ago, since Aces was disbanded. So yeah, just something to think about when you're buying these Steam editions and stuff. And Mr. Siegerman said, I wait for the mailman to stop at your door. Glitch said, you got the Pico. I want to get one myself, but so many projects those tiny projectors can be used for. Glitch, I couldn't agree more. That's why I got one. Really, really excited. Mr. Ziegerman here, he's seen it in person, and I was blown away by how well it works. The thing, it impressed me. I expected very little out of this, but I'll do some videos coming up on it. I really think it's going to be a powerful tool when you add that with a microcomputer as well, or heck, you can even use it with an Arduino technically if you wanted to do the VGA hack. But yeah, there's lots of help going on in the chat with some people with some Arduino problems. Good stuff. Glitch said if you can get the game without Steam being involved, do it. Steam usually takes things away, adds DRM that prevents things from being added to the game. If Steam ever goes under, you don't have your executables. Yep, I couldn't agree more. For something, I don't have the Steam edition of FSX, but I can vouch for when you're building a flight sim, the amount of time and energy you've got into it. If you just had to reinstall FSX, it's a nightmare. You image your drive so you never need to do that. I've got, honest to God, days of straight hours into just the mods in FSX alone. I would never want to lose it or have to reinstall, and let alone I don't think the Steam edition would have the functionality. I really don't. Definitely, there's no way they come with the SDK. I'd be highly impressed if they ever did. And the Steam edition of FSX also doesn't include FS Connect, Steven says. Yeah, there's another fail. And yeah, we'll see. And good stuff. We're getting some people some display problems, and we are all set. Good stuff. Let's go. Viewer questions, guys. Before I go to this, I'm going to go ahead and open the Skype lines now, because these can be interrupted. Guys, Skype username is scrolling across the top of the screen. I do try and make time for at least a couple of live calls each week. No actual pre-made topics or anything like that. Just go ahead and call if you like. Take me just a minute to get that set up. Mr. Ziegerman said he was surprised at how clear the image was. Great little thing. Yeah, I totally agree. I was impressed. And Jordan asked, when did you first start airing these live talks? It was a tail end of spring last year, actually, and it never really got serious until this late last fall, early winter, where we started to get some following, and I just buckled down, and we just do it every week now. So yeah, this is number 25, I believe, guys. All right, let me see if I can get Skype to get out of the way. I got an imp message. Imp, it seems you like the number 13. Any reason behind that? Nope. No reason behind that whatsoever, actually. And Ride said around 26 weeks ago. Yeah, that good stuff, guys. All right, let's go. Viewer questions. Skype lines are open, guys. Make sure I've got this plugged in. My busted headset plugged in. Let's go full screen on these guys. So, Electron Fun, actually, who I shared a video earlier, sent me a comment here. Hi, Eric, your video is full of useful tips. Thanks for sharing. If I understand it right, the calibration process in the Arduino code you mentioned is based on the sensitivity characteristic curves from the MQ2 datasheet. Do you have any materials on how this works? And I thought I'd respond live here because it's a little easier than typing out a big long-winded answer. The long and the short of it is the curves and the information are spelled out on the data sheet quite well, actually, on how they say that you can interpret each individual gas level. What I found was this amazing Arduino code that had already plotted that out and done the curves and the lookup tables for you to interpret. It's a single analog input, and it worked really well. And the long and the short, look at the data sheet and then go to my site and get the code. Actually, just go through the Hackaday. It's quicker. It's on the left-hand side. And go to the forum, to the code link, and it is commented extensively. The code isn't the best layout because I simply didn't repair the formatting. I didn't like the formatting the best because I was combining multiple codes together, but I just didn't have the time to rewrite it. But the fact is the comments are in there on exactly on the lookups and the values and the calibration procedure. It's really, really well done. I take no credit for it whatsoever. I just combined two different codes. Jay said, good stuff. He said, have a good one. Awesome show. Cheers, Joseph. And David Watts says, finally got the IoT Connect to the networks on the fly, working like a boss. Good stuff, David. Awesome. All right, guys, let's see what else we got. Mason sent me, hey, Eric, how did you add your own speech like smoke, etc. in the Arduino code for the Talkie library? This one again is for the gas sensor grenade. Mason, I did not add the speech. I did not synthesize any of it manually by bit banging it. All those words are included in the Talkie library by default. There's in a couple of different examples where you have to pull out the exact characters you need to make that sound, to make that word, but there's hundreds of pre-made words in the Talkie library. I just had to copy and paste between them to get the words I wanted, and the basic numbering and lettering is in all of them. So yeah, it was all pre-done. I just had to do some copy and paste between the examples. I was really lucky. Hence the project went together in like 24 hours. And one more on the same topic. David said, great job, mate. I enjoyed the more detailed video. Are there any commercial units you can test to get the readings against? Scald. Thank you, David. David is still with us, I think. Appreciate that, sir. Long story short, yes, I do actually have access to commercial units where I can check, kind of. I should have no problem checking things like CO against a commercial unit and doing a side-by-side. I definitely could. I hadn't really bothered to do that. What I instead have been focusing on is trying to find a better sensor overall. The MQ2 is not something... There's no way that thing could ever be certified for human life, in my opinion. Unless there's something in the code that I'm missing... I can't see it. It's a heated element sensor. It's not that particularly super accurate. Definitely good enough for the project we wanted. But yeah, I could probably compare mine, but I think I'll wait until I find a better sensor. And I put that out here on the live show last week, where I'm interested if anyone runs across a commercial unit like what's included in the 5 gas analyzers that people use for confined space entry, etc. Please let me know. I can't take apart the ones that I have access to. I did consider it, but these things they do belong to the company I work for, and I'd feel bad if I can't break the seal and just see what's in there. And they have nothing online for data sheets or schematics. Very frustrating. And just the cost of these things is astronomical. But yeah, I'd love to pull one apart and have a look and maybe do some calibration comparisons. But we'll see in the future. Thanks, David. Appreciate the comment. All right. What else we got? No Skype calls. Make sure we're online. Oh, we're good. Why didn't that go full screen? There we go. I won't pronounce this name, but this was on my Arduino flight simulator video. Hi, Eric. Can we put 18 switches for only one analog input in the schematic here? It shows that we can use one analog for 18 switches. Can Link to FS handle it? That is a fantastic question. So basically what he's looking at using is basically a shift register setup. Just each switch has a resistor wired with it, and the Arduino interprets all the different resistance values for the array. Or I always forget the proper name for that, guys. You can throw it in the chat. But but you can definitely do up to 18 on an analog, and absolutely you could use Link2FS to interface this to your flight sim. The beauty of it is all the work is done on the Arduino. The Arduino code is where all the interpretation of the values are done. Link2FS is just simply a relay. And as I don't know how many what the communication bandwidth of the program is overall, because I've never stressed it to the limit, but I have maxed out. I have purposely sent large volumes of data at extremely high frequency, and my Arduino Nano that's running my pressure panel had no problem, and I was just basically spamming the heck out of FSX. Actually just Link2FS, reading the values and displaying them. I had no problem, so I see no reason you couldn't do multiple inputs with 18 switches or buttons on each one. I see no problem. Go ahead and give it a try. Awesome question. Thank you. Guys, we are on schedule, caught up, in pretty good shape. What are we looking at for time? We're just about down to the wire here. I'll go ahead and catch up on the chat real quick. If we don't get any Skype calls, we're going to wrap it up. Let's scroll up just a little bit. Leroy said after I got the Talkie library working, it was awesome. Yeah, Leroy, I couldn't agree more. That thing, I was just amazed I stumbled onto that. Scott said, "Oh, I'll have gas guy coming over. We got a leak." Oof, that's not good. And Mike, do you avoid warranties on $6,000 gas analyzers that you don't own? Yeah, exactly. And Jay said, don't need shift registers. It only need 2-pin for 18 switches. You should be able to do it on one, no? And Zach said, Link2FS is so much better than the system I was trying to use on X-Plane. Yeah, it's an amazing program. I was just stunned. It's too bad the support, I don't know whether it's changed, but there was kind of a bit of a falling out between the author and another flight sim community. I saw the posts going back and forth in the forums not that long ago, and I was kind of blown away. Basically, he published a post saying he was no longer supporting Link2FS and go away kind of thing. He was sick of the drama. And I don't blame him. I hear that, but it was kind of a sad thing because he was the one person who just cracked open the flight sim world and just made open source micros work with any flight sim. Amazing. So pretty cool stuff. And Ride said something I'm curious about is why a lot of people pronounce it as Arduino and not sure where the middle R comes from. Arduino. No, it's you. Yeah, Drino. Yeah, I've heard people say Arduino. Kind of bugs me too. It's an Arduino. Jordan asks, what exactly is Link2FS? Link2FS, Jordan, is the middleman program that was developed open source to talk to, it talks via SimConnect to Flight Simulator 10, actually to any version of Flight Simulator, even X-Plane. Well, actually, I think it might use a different protocol. And, oh, we've got a call. We've got David with us. Hello, David.
Hey, Eric. How are you?
I am excellent, sir. And you?
I'm very good, actually. I'm really, really pleased that I managed to get the ESP8266 to connect on the fly. So,
excellent.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say it's really cool, but I don't want to big up what I've done. But essentially, what it does now is it reads the networks that are available. You can select them. I've rigged up some crappy buttons. You can select the network you like, and then it asks you to input a password. And that comes from this big char array of special characters, uppercase, lowercase, numbers. So you put your password in, you confirm it, and then it will connect to the network. If it's able to do that successfully, it will save it to EEPROM, which is possibly how I ruined my Arduino.
I caught that in the chat. I'm like, I've been there. Damn.
So it will save it to the Arduino. But I'm going to have to be careful with the EEPROM stuff. I think I powered it down while it was doing it, so I don't know whether that ruined it somehow. But it will save that in the first byte of the EEPROM memory. It will record a 1 or a 0. If it's a 0, it'll have no credentials stored. They'll probably still be on there. I'm not going to wipe the EEPROM.
No.
So it will
save a write cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. So it will look to see if it has stored credentials. If it does, then it will connect to that network automatically. And if it can't connect, then you can select a different network. And it's all, at the moment, let's have a look how much space it's using. So it's currently rocking 81% of dynamic memory, which is a bit of a problem, I think. Because,
it's still not horrible. We're not at the top end yet.
That's true, but it doesn't take into account any data it's going to read into memory from the ESP8266. So if it's going to pull in a large amount of data from a web page, then that memory is going to sort of overflow potentially. And I'm using 90% of the program storage, so I need to try and trim it down a little bit. But it's got a full menu interface. It's got an interface for running, so whatever you've set it up to run, but also connecting to a network, selecting a network, entering a password, and another one for sort of setup. So you can alter some of the variables, some of the values that you're sending out, or the little variables you throw into PHP URLs and stuff. So it's working quite well. I've not uploaded it to GitHub yet, mainly because it's definitely not ready. I wouldn't want other people to ruin their Arduino.
No.
But I'll be uploading the separate functions. I tried to make a library. I've been doing that all week, and it's so difficult. I just don't. The class structure isn't the same as a normal function in Arduino. In C++ functions in sort of those classes on libraries are all really different. It's about global variables and public and private variables, and I can't get my head around it quite yet. But I'm hoping I'll be able to.
I couldn't even get started when I tried, so you teach me when you're done, because I gave up before I even started. I wanted to do one for the InMove ARM, the brain interface project, and I thought it was a good opportunity to just make a library. Yeah, no, I gave up. It was a fail.
There's an example on Arduino.cc, and it's a Morse code example, and I thought, yeah, that'd be easy. It looks really simple, but no, when I started porting over some of the stuff that I'd done, I was just like, Jesus, where's all this stuff going to go? Like, so many different variables I've got in my code.
Yep.
I just don't know what to do with them. And I need to share them. And I just don't know how to share them with different functions or share them with the sketch and make them modifiable and stuff. It's quite difficult. So if anyone out there has any better tutorials on how to make a library or would like to handhold me through the whole thing, then that would be great.
Perfect. I'm sure there'll be somebody around that'll get through it with you. Globalize everything. That's what I do.
Yeah, I think that's
it's a horrible way to code, but that's what I've had to do in many projects.
Congrats on the gas sensor grenade getting a prize. Well done. I think it's a really, really cool project. And I've seen a lot of chatter about it on social media, so it's doing well for you.
Yeah, well, it's a community project too. I don't think I would have pushed it through without you guys prompting me along. So, hey, I appreciate you giving it the skull too, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. Let's use the prize and make something neat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing you print up some boards on OshPark. It'll be good.
I'm a little excited about that. I have no clue I don't want to make something for a project that only I'm going to use. I'd love to at least make something that we can do as a community, and then maybe throw out because we can do more than one board, right? Like for most of the stuff we make, and maybe throw them out to the community, something that we'd all find of use, even if it's like a silly. What did Dave Jones make? The current something or other.
The microcurrent.
Yeah.
No, I don't even know what that does. I literally have no idea.
I'd have to go look it up. I think it was for measuring high accurate or doing calibration on low current stuff, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah, I figured it was that too. Something I'll never even use, I imagine.
Definitely.
Reference voltages and things. I never touch a reference voltage. I guess it's because I don't use any kind of accurate equipment.
Yeah,
I've
I
just got a
never get
mosquito.
it. Yeah, I don't get into anything like that. We're, I'd say probably 99.9% of the population doesn't. Heck, even our work stuff is certified to the. I can't remember. Our flukes and all of our measurement equipment go out every. I think it's 6 months now, and the calibration on those is to a digit that I had to laugh because we use them in an industrial setting, and there's no need for that level of accuracy, but we spend obscene amounts of money calibrating this equipment. I just shake my head. How many people really need accuracy to the 10th decimal place? Come on.
No, you definitely don't. My meter goes to, let's have a look. Uh, I've got, it goes down to 4 decimal places. And I can't imagine, I mean, it's great to see at that kind of level, decimal place level, you get to see noise in the signal, which is
Yeah.
useful. So you don't even need to look at a scope for it. But other than that, you don't need it. You only need to, the second decimal place? And even then, you don't
Even
really,
then, that's rare.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I only called in just to say well done on the gas cube and sort of update you on what I'm doing with that ESP8266. So great show tonight, and I'm going to have to disappear in a minute because it's a work day tomorrow. Even though we had a lovely bank holiday here in the UK, and a new
Nice.
royal baby as well, as I'm sure everyone will have heard about already.
I did hear about that. I didn't think it made quite the tech news, though, so I didn't
No,
share.
but last year, was it last year when she had her other child, George? I can't remember what his name is actually. Uh, but we all got a free bank holiday for the royal birth, which is great. And we were all kind of hoping that we'd get another one, but we unfortunately were born on a Sunday, so never mind.
What? What the heck? I still have the queen on my money here. Where's my holiday?
Right, I better go.
All right.
All right, take care, mate, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, David.
Okay, bye.
Bye. David Watts, and working heavily on the ESP8266 Wi-Fi module work. He is building some cool stuff. Look forward to some code from him. I'm going to leave the Skype lines open for one more minute here, guys. We're over time by just a little bit, but and Leroy, just check out the chat real quick. Leroy saying, Zach, give Eric ideas on what to make. Please do. I really am excited to do this as a community project. I really am. I'm excited that we won something. I'm really excited that it's custom PCBs because I've never done that before, and that alone I think would be worthy of sharing with the group. The process and how it goes and what to expect. And Osh Park is the leader essentially in my area in North America. They are the one for good price, good delivery, and they're cool purple PCB boards. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, guys. So thanks for pushing me to do that project. Thanks for all the kind words. Throw me your ideas. Glitch said he uses a $12 multimeter for 99% of the measurements I need to take. I would echo that. I use a very expensive fluke meter for a lot of it now, but prior to owning that expensive fluke meter, I only used my medium expensive fluke meter in situations where my life was on the line. For easily 95% of the work that I do, I need a quick go, no go indication of what's going on in the circuit. And for that, even a cheap non-auto ranging meter will work if you know the circuit you're working on. So I don't advise, we covered this in a previous live broadcast though, guys, stay away from the non-auto ranging meters unless you know exactly, actually just stay away from them. I generally know what to expect in a circuit, and I detest having to figure that out before I put the leads on. Drives me nuts. And Glitch said, breaking news, every woman has a baby, everyone loses their mind. Yeah. And it was Leroy said it was a $3 Harbor Freight meter they gave me for free. Yeah, actually I still carry like $3 to $4. I don't even know where I got them. I think they were from Princess Auto, which is a retailer here in Ontario. Cool surplus stuff, but they're really, really small. Actually, auto ranging, just basically volts AC, ohms, volts DC. I don't even think it had current on it, and I still have 2 of those, and I carry them in my my RC toolkit because they actually do work quite well. They're not a real piece of junk, and they're small, so really easy to carry. Like that. And Mike said, I would love to have an oscilloscope. Yeah, it took me a long time to get me a good oscilloscope, Mike. It is a awesome tool to have. It's not something I use a lot. I use it medium often. Before that, I had an automotive oscilloscope, which is basically just a graphing multimeter, and I was able to make do with that. But my DS1052E scope, I just love it. Best money I ever spent for anything in the neighborhood of oscilloscopes or graphing meters. Just love it. Jack said maybe make a custom PCB for your sim, include the Mega 2560 and whatnot. So the Mega, yeah, we could do that, Zach. Throw your ideas out there in the G Plus community. Just make a list if you have ideas like that, because I'll forget them quite quickly, and we'll put them, maybe even put them to a vote if you guys want. It's a community project, guys. Let's see what we can do with it. And Glitch says most of his projects don't deal with dangerous voltages and currents. However, with some more recent projects, big lithium on the e-bike, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, to invest in a better meter. But money is tight. Absolutely. Maybe on an episode coming up, I'll pick out some of the meters that are available that I would stand behind that do work very well for middle of the road. There is no need to buy the meter that you see in the Fluke 289 you guys see in my videos. Is definitely not something that the average hobbyist needs. It is the coolest meter I've ever owned, though. It is one of my prized possessions. I love it because I can simply do anything with it. The logging capabilities alone and the low ohm measurements allow me to do things I could never do, but it is not necessary. It's a lot of money for one of those. If I wouldn't have got a really good deal on it, I'd never own one. And Laughing Logic, Adam said he used his microcurrent yesterday. Measures down to picoamps by using the voltmeasure on your multimeter to alleviate the burden voltage you're getting from the amp meter and low currents. Thank you, Adam. That reminded me of what that does, and I remember why I pawned them off, because I have an inductive low amp meter down to picoamps. It actually plugs into a voltmeter as well, and that's why I never paid attention to the microcurrent, because I already had one that I can just put. I have to wire a jumper in or be able to get in line with the inductive clamp, but it works really well. It's a very cool thing that microamp meter that would be really handy for a lot of things, especially diagnostics. Being able to measure low amps is really handy in some situations. It's pretty cool. I should almost think about looking at that. Zach says he has a cheap $10 Canadian Tire multimeter. Should get a better one. Yeah, well, actually, funny enough, if there's enough Ontarians here, I can pick out a couple of the models that Canadian Tire sells that are actually made by their clones of the Fluke guts. And the auto ranging function, they usually come on sale for $30 at Canadian Tire, and they are an awesome meter. I can vouch for them. The speed and the accuracy are amazing. I think the regular price is about $50, but they come on sale routinely, like every 6 to 8 weeks for $50. So yeah. And Chris says he trusts my life with Fluke. Yeah, me too, Chris. My daytime career, when I'm measuring larger, like 690 volts AC, I only use my Fluke. It is what it is. It's CAT certified, and I do trust my life to it. It's the only electrical tool I do trust my life to, is my Fluke meters. 2 of them, actually. The 189 and the 289. I have no problem with my life in their hands. I also know what I'm reading, though, too. I've seen some people do some pretty silly things. And Glitch says he's got a $20 meter that blows the fuse at the slightest problem, even if it isn't a problem. Interesting. That's usually the only time you're actually going to blow the fuse in the multimeter, Glitch, is when you are hooking it up incorrectly. It's usually a function of the circuit you've teed into. Amperage is amperage, and the only way you're going to get it high enough to blow the fuse, there's nothing on board the meter that can do that unless it's physically... I can't think of any way that the meter could be damaged internally that would prompt an early fuse blow for a normal hookup in a series amperage reading. The only time that usually happens is when you're not hooking in series in line with the circuit, when you make the mistake of measuring like voltage, and then poof, They blow instantly. Steven says, got any study guides for ham radio in Canada? I'd love to get my license. Steven, there is a great study guide on, is it the CRTC website? Actually, if you just search in Google, it's the first hit for study guide, amateur radio Canada. It'll come right up. It's actually a government sponsored study guide and everything, and it includes all the tests, questions. I haven't gone to write the exam. I'm not licensed. I just haven't made the time to do it, but I did check out the study guides and check out what's going to be on the exam and all that. It's pretty neat. What else we got? Brandon said, I watched a guy stick both probes on a meter in a 120 outlet. Yeah, well, you can do that, Brandon, if you're on volts AC. No problem there. Scott said, speaking of calibrating meters, how often should I calibrate the Fluke 189? Scott, it depends on what are you doing with it. If you're doing something like career-wise, industrial, that you need high degrees of accuracy, I guess you could calibrate yearly or even more often. If you're doing something high sensitivity, like where you could have someone come back on you for your components, like mass production. But in my experience, the Fluke stuff, I had one. It was a Fluke 89, or was it a 189? I can't remember. I sent it in actually for a calibration, and the thing was 5-6 years old, and it came back right within no nothing, a jar. So I'd say pretty rare that you need to calibrate if you're not in an industrial setting where accuracy really matters for somebody not coming back on you later for substandard equipment. Cool. David's gonna get talking to me later. Awesome. Leroy said, my dad swears by his old Samson analog. Leroy, I think I showed it on the live broadcast. I've got an ancient analog meter. I still use it for testing transistors because on an ohm scale, it puts out enough voltage to turn on the gate. So I can test transistors live on the bench for live functionality. Works good. But yeah. Glitch said it's just weird because I've used it, blown the fuse, turned it around, and used the cheaper meter and didn't have the problem. Yeah, it could very well be between steering wheel and seat problem. Yeah, I'd say it's likely it probably is. That's usually what happens when you have blown fuses. And Steven says, thanks, good stuff. Chris said he still uses the Simpson analog for some troubleshooting. It's funny, guys. They still have their place as long as you understand what you're doing with the meter, and especially if it is an older analog low impedance meter, you don't go firing it into today's circuits and let the smoke out of things rapidly because the massive amount of current that you can induce to flow. It's but for some troubleshooting, they work great. I love them. I still love my analog meter. I like my Fluke a lot better though. More and more, I'm really not even pulling the analog out. I can do functional tests in line in different ways. Then I'm learning to do things differently, but some things stick with us, guys. And yeah. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wind it down right here. Let's go. Some closing thoughts, guys. This video, this is not a new video, but it got shared around quite a bit on a few different sites this week. A higher call. This, I believe, turned into a book. Long story short, guys, this video covers, I think, 6.5 minutes of an incident that happened many moons ago, World War II. A German pilot came across an Allied bomber that was basically shot to heck. Multiple crew dead, severely injured. The thing was a non-combat anymore, just limping home. And instead of shooting the bomber down, this Me-109 German fighter pilot decided to pull up beside the bomber, which basically completely unheard of, because if any of the guns were alive, they were going to shoot him down. Got a visual with the pilot. and escorted them out of German airspace instead of shooting them down. Long story short, many years later, they tracked each other down and became the closest of friends. This was kind of the humanity side of war back in the day, and I bring it into our tech world not only just for a feel-good moment, because this German pilot would have been executed by his own military. If anyone knew he did this, he would have been executed. As well, he could have been killed too, but it kind of it resonates with me a little bit, because in the era of the drones, the predator drones, and now the larger ones that are taking shape, that humanity is likely to be lost. And almost wonder whether there's something that should still be there that was there before. There was, I'm not saying war is humane, but there was some instances where people could make choices, and are those choices being removed? You tell me, guys. Tell me what you think. Check out the video. Guys, that is it for today. One quick last look at the chat, and I do intend to check out the IRC after the broadcast. I'll be away for just a few minutes. I have to make a couple of quick phone calls, and I will try and hit you guys up in IRC. BMS Web said, "Oh my God, my son Thomas loves this story. It's freaking awesome." I couldn't agree more. It's an awesome story. It's one that'll tug at your heartstrings, guys. So check it out. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Good luck in all your ventures this week. I hope you have a fantastic week. I really do. Let me know what you're building this week. Please let me know what we're going to build for the Osh Park PCBs, or what we're going to do with that. Don't forget to post that, and I'll catch up with you guys in IRC later tonight if I can. Good luck in all your ventures.